Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanaya Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanaya Yamunatira Banachari Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanaya Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanaya Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjanaya Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjanaya Yamunatira Vanacharya Yamunatira Vanacharya Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gaur Premanandi Hare 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 Krishna. So we are at the end of the month of Kartika, Damodara, Lila, and I'm going to speak about this song we are singing every morning here in the temple, which is called Damodarastakam, by the great sage Satyavrata Muni. He spoke this in the Padma Purana to his friend Narad Muni. So it's a very beautiful prayer, very, very loving, very devotional. So I'm going to read it and in Sanskrit and the translation. Namamishvaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam Yashoda Biyolu Kaladhavamanam Paramrishtamatyantato Drutya Gopya. To the Supreme Lord, whose form is the embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging to and fro, who is beautifully shining in the divine realm of Gokula, who due to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in fear of Mother Yashoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who run after him with greater speed. To that Supreme Lord, Shri Damodara, I offer my humble obeisances. So this is the scene, the scene that first Satyavrata Muni explained that this is not ordinary child. It's the embodiment of eternal happiness and bliss and knowledge and full. So we're talking about the absolute truth, the Supreme Lord. So that's very important to establish right from the beginning of the prayer. And then it's interesting that he starts describing Krishna not from his face or even his lotus feet, but earrings. He's thinking about, start describing that the earrings are moving, swinging to and fro. And why is that? The reason is that he's trying to establish the fact that Krishna is in the run. He's running, he's moving. Although Krishna has many ornaments, this particular ornament, the earrings, they become very fortunate because they were kissing Krishna's cheeks, so they become very, very fortunate. But besides that, actually Krishna is the ornament of his ornaments. And here is briefly described this particular Damodar Lila, that Mother Yashoda was churning the yogurt to make butter, and Krishna asked her to feed him. So she gave up what she was doing, sat down, and was feeding Krishna her breast milk. Suddenly she realized that she has a milk on the stove boiling. So she left Krishna aside and went to save the milk. why she did that? Was saving the milk more important than feeding Krishna? No. The reason is that that milk was also meant for Krishna's service, and wasn't any ordinary milk. I mean, from thousands of cows, the Nanda Maharaj has 10 special cows that are fed with very special, very sweet, fragrant grass. So they will give very, very sweet milk to make very nice sweets for Krishna. So to save that milk, because the milk was at the point of desperation or committing suicide by falling apart because of her eagerness to serve Krishna, and Yashoda went to save it, So, of course, when a child is not satisfied, his hunger is not satisfied, and become angry, start crying. But Krishna, instead of crying, he took a rock and broke a pot of yogurt, filled his hand with it, and went to hide somewhere to eat it. So when Yashoda came back, Krishna wasn't there, and the yogurt pot was broken. All the yogurt splitting on the floor. Oh, this must be Krishna's naughtiness. So she took a stick. And she found him very easily. You know why? Because by walking over the yogurt, Krishna's footprint were everywhere. So she just followed that. And Krishna was sitting on broken pots. In India, usually they cook with clay pots. And after using them for some time, they discard them. So Krishna was sitting on the top of them, and after he's eating the yogurt, he was also feeding the monkeys. Krishna likes to feed the monkeys. You know why? Because as Ramachandra, they helped him fight Ravana, so he was grateful to the monkeys. Sometime Mother Yashoda asked Krishna, why do you go to steal yogurt and butter at somebody's house? You're not satisfied with the one I make at home? Krishna said, Mother, your yogurt and makan, butter is the best. See, I stole this from neighbor's house. Not even the monkey want to eat it. He was offering to the monkey. Of course, the monkey will not eat it because their bellies are already filled. So they were up to the neck, so they will not be able to eat more. So, and then when, of course, Krishna knew he did some mischievous activity, so although he was eating and giving to the monkeys, he was looking everywhere, And suddenly he saw Mother Yashoda with a stick, so he ran away. And she ran after him. I mean, who can catch the Supreme Lord? At what speed you have to go to catch him? Not even the speed of light or the mind, Not possible. But Mother Yashoda, because of her intense love, she was able to do it. And Krishna was trembling in fear because he saw the stick, so he was afraid. When Yashoda saw that Krishna was trembling in fear and crying, she threw away the stick. I don't want him to be too afraid of me. And this stick represents ahankara, the false ego. If we attach too much to our ego, then not possible to catch Krishna. So now this situation is very interesting because, fear personified fear Krishna, death personified fear Krishna. So how is possible Krishna was afraid? Was he actually really afraid and crying, or was he faking it? What do you think? No, was no fake, was real, was not crocodile tears, was real tears. And the reason is very mysterious. I will try to explain. The reason is that Krishna wants to enjoy as a human child. So his energy, potency called Yoga Maya, she knows that and she wants to serve Krishna by making Krishna forget momentarily that he is the Supreme. So he forgets he's Supreme and he's really afraid because he wants to enjoy like a human child, like that. Now the question may arise, if Krishna is forgetting himself in his Leela and his divine pastimes, then who will hear the prayers of his pure devotees? If he's forgetting himself in his pastime, then if they pray to Krishna, who will hear? Somebody may say, well, maybe Paramatma will hear the prayers, but that will hurt their feelings because they don't want relationship with Paramatma, they want relationship with Bhagavan. Paramatma is a partial aspect of the Lord. It's in the heart of every being, every atom even. But that's partial. Bhagavan is the Supreme Personality, the origin of Paramatma and Brahman. No? So the answer is that Krishna, although bewildered by his Leela, by his loving dealings with his pure devotee like Mother Yashoda, in the background he remains omniscient. That's explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of our acharyas. So, although he is in the forefront, he's forgetting himself and he's enjoying his pastime. In the background, he still knows everything. And he hears the prayers and accepts the prayers of his pure devotees. So now, he had a pearl necklace on, and that was shaking. And he was rubbing his eyes, you know. Now you know that Lord Ramachandra appeared in the Sun dynasty, Surya dynasty, and Krishna appeared in the Moon dynasty, Chandra dynasty. So by rubbing his eyes, Krishna was protesting that both dynasties were compromised by his tears, like that. So now, Mother Yashoda was worried that Krishna is too afraid of me, that is not good. He may even run away from home. So she was worried that Krishna will do that, and she decided to tie him up so he will not run away until he calmed down, then she would release him. Let's see what the next verse said. Okay. Rudantam muhur netra yugmam mrijantam karam boja yugmena satanka netra muhushwasakam patrirekam kakantastita graiva damodaram bhakti vadam. Seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand, he is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again with his two lotus hands. His eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with 3 lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodar, whose belly is bound not by robes, but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisance. So he's tied up by, not by rope, but by pure love. And then the third verse said, Itidrik swali labhi rananda kunde swagosham nima jantamakya payantam tadiyashita gyeshu bhaktarjitatvam puna primatastam shatavriti bande. By such childhood pastime as this, he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy, and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times. So, Srila Prabhupada said that in the spiritual world, the devotees who worship Krishna as God, they are not the first-class devotees. But those who don't know that Krishna is the Supreme Lord, they are the first-class devotees. It seems a contradiction, but let me try to explain. I'm talking about the spiritual world, not here. Here we have to be fully convinced that Krishna is the Supreme Lord and worship and with love and devotion. But when we achieve perfection and go to the spiritual world, we have to forget that forever. It's a paradox. Of course, in Vaikuntha, everybody knows Narayan is the Supreme. With awe and reverence, they worship him with grandeur and majesty and opulence. But in Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna doesn't like to be worshipped like that. He wants more intimacy, more friendly, more family intimacy with his devotees, and to enjoy more spontaneous love with them. He makes them forget his divinity by his yoga maya potency. A big man has a big company, the owner of many, things. When he reach home, he doesn't want to be treated the same as he's Mr. Such and Such. He likes to be treated by his children hugging him, and the wife, laugh with him, make some jokes. He enjoys that. He doesn't want to be treated so respectfully at home. So that psychology is there in the Supreme Lord. When there was a Second World War between England and Germany, in charge of the military, he went to see one minister, very important minister, to something very, very important to discuss about the war. But when he arrived at his office, he was told, sorry, he told us not allow anyone because right now he's busy. He can't see anyone right now. And the colonel, he said, this is a subject of life and death. I don't care. So he just opened the door even without knocking. And what was doing the minister so important? He was on his fore, and his grandson riding him as a horse. He was enjoying being a horse for his grandchild. So very important man, out of love, he doesn't mind to become horse for his grandson because he loves, is there. So in the same way, Krishna likes to be controlled by love only, nothing else, pure love. Impersonalists, they want to become one with God. But by great devotees like Mother Yashoda, she become even greater than God because she controls him with her love. She can bind him. So that's the mystery of this beautiful pastime. And besides that, let's see what the next verse says. Varam deva moksham na moksha vadimva na chanya brineham varesha dapiha idam teva purnata gopala balam sadame manasya virastam kimanyai. O Lord, although you are able to give all kinds of benediction, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours, as Balagopal in Vrindavan, may ever be manifest in my heart, for what is the use to me of any other boon besides this? So, this is pure devotion. This is pure devotion. Generally, people approach God to ask for, material benefit, And what are people are looking for in this world? Three things. Money, health, and love. These three things. But these three things may come and go. Health, sometimes there is health, sometimes not. Money also come and go. The love also may be with you or leave you. There's no guarantee in this world of any of those things. But Krishna can give us all these things forever. Eternal youth, eternal love, all opulence or riches, So real wealth, is the land and the cows, because you get the land, you get the grains, you get the food, and from the cows you get the milk and all byproducts. So this is real wealth. Not papers and plastic, If there is a war, you can't eat bolt and like that. So, in the spiritual world, every step is a dance, every word is a song, is a poem, and life in Vrindavan is so beautiful, so blissful. If you read in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the description, how is the land of Krishna in Vrindavan, is to attract us, to remind us that we don't belong to this world. We are just passing through here. Once a reporter asked Srila Prabhupada, do you believe in extraterrestrials? Prabhupada said, yes, we are all extraterrestrials. We don't belong to this world. We are just passing through here. We belong to Krishna, that we are part of him, So the most thing that Krishna loves is to be loved and to love. That's the thing he likes the most. So that he doesn't give so easily those things, pure love, because he's bound, he's controlled by that love. So he wants to be sure the devotee is very surrendered, very sincere to give that love. He may give more easily material wealth or good health or even powers, mystic powers. Yogis sometimes they get powers. Once a young man left his town in India and went to the Himalayas to practice meditation and yoga and to get mystic powers. So after 20 years of doing a lot of tapasya, penance, austerities, he got some power. So he returned to his hometown and announced to all the people there, tomorrow at sunrise, I'm going to walk on the water crossing the river. So you can come if you want. So all the town people came. Oh, wow, this is our, everybody knew him. He's from our town. So everybody came to see the fun, the amazing thing. And actually he did walk on the river. So there was a boatman. He crossed people from one side to the side with few coins, So he was asked, isn't it wonderful? Yes, it is wonderful. But I can do the same thing with few coins, cross you to the other side of the river. I mean, for practical reason, to achieve the practical, effect of crossing the river is easier. You spend 20 years to do tapasya just to do that. I can do it with few coins. Not one, I can carry 5 or 6 in my boat. So anyway, but people like magic, they like this kind of things, Krishna can give even that. He gives to some people those. But that's also illusion, because you may think yourself, oh, I'm very powerful. I become famous, rich, admired by all the people because of my powers. That's big. Ego become bigger, So that's not does not attract Krishna. Rather, sincere and humble, loving service, that's what attracts Krishna. So we always should remember that. That's why Satyavrata Muni is praying, I don't want any of those powers or opulence. I don't want even liberation in Vaikuntha. What he wants then, he will say the next verse. I say, idam temukam bojam atyantanilai britam kuntalai snigdaraktais chagopya muhus chumbitam bimbaraktadarame manasya virasta malam lakshalabhai. O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair, tinged with red, is kissed by again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. So, Satyavrata Muni actually is not just describing this wonderful leelas, pastimes of the Lord, he's actually seeing them in his heart. Prabhupada said, pure devotee on his level, they have a color TV in their heart. They can see with their spiritual eye, what is happening there. So he's describing what he's seeing actually. In his internal soul, he's seeing that with the soul's eye, With this material eye, we can't see these things. We have to develop bhakti, devotion for the Lord. So he's describing Krishna's beautiful soft black hair, and Mother Yashoda is kissing Krishna's cheeks once and again. And he said, this beautiful vision of your face be always in my heart. Thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. Is it like for somebody who got $1 million, he doesn't care about $10 or $100. It's nothing, isn't it? So if somebody gets the highest thing, he doesn't care for. It's nothing. It doesn't interest him, So we can't give up something unless we have something better to replace it. That's the point. The philosophy of Krishna consciousness is not an imposition on the mind, but rather the soul awakening to its real nature. And what's its real nature? Our real nature is to love the Lord, the Supreme Lord, and be loved by Him, and be satisfied with that love. To understand, I'm not this material body, I'm the eternal servant of God, of Krishna. That is my function. Sometimes people ask me, okay, what is the difference between Hare Krishna and other religions? I tell them, religion without philosophy can be sentimental or even fanatical. And philosophy without God is just mental speculation. But if you combine both religion and philosophy, then you get the spiritual science, the science of the soul, the science of God. So in Krishna consciousness, the understanding is religion is one because God is one. Religion means to know God, to love Him, to know who I am, why am I suffering in this world, how to get free from samsara, repeated birth and death. That's the real meaning. Not just some ritual and not knowing what is the purpose behind it or anything like that, So, the same way that you can't separate heat and light from fire. It's fire's nature to be hot and have light. So in the same way, we can't separate from ourselves what we eternally are. Since we are eternal being, we are not going to die when this body dies. We will continue existing. But if we don't have a spiritual goal in life, we will just continue in the samsara, repeated birth and death. Enjoying or suffering or good or bad karma. But if we have a spiritual goal and we practice it to achieve it, then there is a real goal for human beings to achieve in life. I mean, people have many goals in their life, to graduate, to get a good job, get married, get money, so many things. That's nothing wrong with that. But beside all that, what is the purpose of their life? The real purpose. We are not meant to live 70 or 100 years. We are meant to live forever. But before knowing what is the purpose of living forever, because somebody asked me that some friend told him, okay, but you will not be bored living forever? What you will do there? That means they don't know. The spiritual life is about experiencing, not just knowing theoretically, but actually living it and experiencing it. And the experience, the ananda, the bliss, the happiness to be serving Krishna, to be loving Krishna. And that's go increasing and increasing and increasing unlimitedly. Like that. When Krishna, the gopis dress very nicely to make Krishna happy. And when Krishna see them so nicely dressed, he become happy. And when they see that he is happy, they become more happy. And when Krishna see they became more happy by seeing him, he become more happy. And they competing with each other. Who will be more happy? And that happiness will go increasing, increasing, increasing. I mean to say, Krishna is unlimited. How much can we understand about him? So knowledge itself in relation to Krishna is not the way to actually understand him. But to actually develop love for him, he will reveal himself. It's not by our mental, intellectual power we are going to understand God. Tell you one story. Once a sage was walking on the seashore, and he was thinking about God's eternity. Oh, all right, I can understand that God has no end, but I can't understand so much that God has no beginning. So he was thinking about that. How is that he never has beginning? I mean, he was thinking like that. And he passed next to a boy on the beach, and the boy was making a hole in the sand. So he stopped, talked to the boy, said, "Well, boy, what you're doing?" "Oh, I'm making a hole." "What for?" "I want to put all the ocean inside this hole." So the sage said, "Was that not possible? The ocean is too big." And the boy told him, "But you, with your tiny brain, you're trying to understand God." So the sage understood, oh, God is speaking to me through this boy. That is not by mental speculation or intellectual. It's by love and surrender that Krishna can reveal himself. We are so eternal. We never been created. The body, material body is created, but the soul is not created. It's eternal. Always been existing. So we have a purpose. Everything has a purpose. For example, the symbols, they have a shape, and they have a purpose. And what is the purpose? To play. And along with chanting, no? So do you know what means this three? We do it with like this, no? 3 beats. Means no more birth and death, no more birth and death, no more birth and death. Of course, by chanting Hare Krishna. So, anyway, let's finish the prayers. Now is the 6th. Namo Deva Damodara Nanta Vishnu Prasida Prabhu Dukkha Jalabdi Magnam Kripa Drishti Brishtya Vitidina Batanu Grihani Shamamagya Mediyakshi Drishya. He says, O Supreme Godhead, offer my obeisance unto you. O Damodara, O Ananta, O Vishnu, O Master. O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. So now he become very humble, Satyavrata Muni. Because Krishna likes to put his devotees to test. So suddenly, Krishna disappeared from the vision of Satyavrata Muni. He was thinking, oh, I'm the spiritual world. I'm seeing Krishna being kissed by Mother Yashoda. I'm seeing her tying up Krishna with a rope. Oh, I'm in Vrindavan. I'm in bliss. But suddenly, for a few moments, that vision disappeared. So he became very humble. And he started, no, I'm still in the material world. Here I am in this body. So he became very humble and he prays, please, my Lord, shower your glance of mercy on me. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta used to say, don't try to see God. Act in such a way that God will see you. So when we go in front of the Lord, the deities in the temple, we shall pray that He will see us. With these eyes, how much we can see? Really, we just see stones and wood and metal. We don't. How much we can see? But if He see us, then we are blessed. That's the idea that we pray for, like that. So, I mean, we can pray, give me just a little glimpse of your glory so I can see your that you are the absolute true, my eternal friend. Krishna is the eternal friend of everyone because He wants the best for everyone. He wants everyone to be happy eternally in His company. If we make one step toward Krishna, Krishna will make 10 steps toward us because He's more eager than us that we approach Him, we come to Him. So, but actually, Satyavrata Muni is not immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrow. He may express himself in such humble way, but his sorrow is not material, it's spiritual. He's feeling the separation from Krishna. He's hankering after Krishna. He's missing Krishna. So it's not material sorrow. It looks like suffering, but it's bliss. To miss the Lord, to want to be with Him, to serve Him, that's not material hankering or suffering. It may look like that. Like in the Ramayana, it looks like very sad story. Ramachandra was gonna to become the Rajkumar, and he was gonna be, and then he has to go to the forest 14 years in exile, live in the forest, and then his wife was kidnapped, and he has to fight the demons with the help of monkeys, and it's great trouble. And then after that, apparently everything is okay, everything is happy back, and his wife has to go in exile also. I mean, it seemed like very sad story. But Hanuman will enjoy hearing Ramayana, whatever it is being recited, he will go in disguise and hear it. Why? Because give him great bliss. The activities of the Lord are beyond the material happiness or the stress of this world. Everything He does in the absolute platform of eternal bliss, happiness. It may look sad, but that's to create more excitement and more adventure and like that. What is the saying? The distance makes the heart fondler. You remember? Absence.
Distance also works.
Yeah. Absence makes
the heart grow fonder.
Yes. So when Krishna separates from his beloved, either as Ramchandra from Sita, the love increases thousandfold. like that. So here we are in this material world, trying to develop Krishna consciousness, trying to develop some love for Krishna. So if we start trying to feel some desire to be with him, to miss him, that's very good. But to come to that point, there must be purification of the heart. And this purification of the heart, it happens when we chant sincerely the holy name. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. All right, I'm going to finish the prayer. Kuberat majo bada murtyaiva yadva tvaya mochito bhakti bhajo krito cha tata prema bhaktim sokamme prayacha namoksha grahomesti damodareha namaste studamne spuradipti damne tvadiyo darayata vishvasya damne namoradikaya tvadiya priyaya namonanta lilaya devaya tubhyam. O Lord Damodar, just as the two sons of Kubera, Manigriva and Nalakubara, were delivered from the curse of Narada and made into great devotees by you, in your form as a baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own prema bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisance to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisance to your belly, which is the abode of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer all obeisance to you, the Supreme Lord, who displays unlimited pastimes. So, when Krishna was there was a conflict between Krishna and his mother. Mother Yashoda wanted to bind him with a rope, and Krishna didn't want to be bound by the rope. So there was a conflict. Nobody wants to have a conflict with God. Nobody wants to have conflict with anybody. What to speak with God? But Mother Yashoda was having a conflict with her son, Krishna. God is God himself, the Supreme God. But that conflict was out of pure love, not any mundane thing. No? So the rope was shrinking. Every time she was trying to make the knot, the rope will shrink. So she tied more ropes together, and they still will shrink. She finished all the ropes in the house and went to the neighbor's gopis to ask for more ropes. So all of them came to see the fun. Oh, you can't tie even your own son. But she will not give up. And Krishna will not give up. So all day that was going on. But finally, Krishna saw his mother so tired and determined to keep him at home, not to run away. So out of pure love, he allowed himself to be tied up. He told the rope, okay, now you can tie me up. Then only they didn't shrink. And these two fingers were missing to tie him up. They represent two things. That we have to make effort in the spiritual life. We have to make an effort. And we have also to pray for the mercy of the Lord. No? Both things. Mother Yashoda was making an effort, and also, Krishna showed the mercy. Both things should be always there. But after Krishna was bound by the Mother Yashoda, he thought, oh, now is the time to fulfill the promise of my devotee Narad Muni. Because Narad Muni, he met Manigriva and Nalakubara. They are the sons of Kubera, the treasurer of the demigods. Very rich, very powerful. And he happened to pass in their planet, and he saw them naked bathing in the Ganga with beautiful girls also naked and drinking and having fun. So when he approached them, the girls immediately covered their bodies out of shyness and shame, but they were so intoxicated they didn't care. So he felt pity for them, you are the sons of such great personality and you're behaving this way. So better you become trees. Because trees can be naked all the time, and so people who like to practice nudity, they risk to become trees in their next life. I've seen pictures of trees that have the shape of a person. Have you seen that? I've seen that a few times. Anyway, it's possible. So, anyway, so the first thing in human society is to cover the nakedness of the body. That's civilization. Civilized. Anyway, so he thought, I have to free them because my devotee promised that. I have nothing to do with them, but since my devotee Narad Muni made the promise, I have to fulfill it. So Krishna went between the two trees, and the big grinding mortar for grinding spices got caught in the middle, and he pulled with great force, and the two trees were uprooted and fell, making a lot of noise because they were very tall. They were called Arjuna trees. And Krishna was in the middle. They fell on the sides. And they came out of the tree, very shining demigods, offering prayers to Krishna, thanking him for their deliverance. And Krishna was smiling. Krishna was thinking, I just delivered this devatas, but I myself bound up by the rope of Mother Yashoda, by the love of Mother Yashoda. So this beautiful Leela pastime show us how kind and merciful is Krishna. Then all the coward men came to see what happened. They heard the noise. And Nanda Maharaj, Krishna's father, he was very much worried. Oh, who tied up my son like this? Who's that cruel person? Yashoda was hiding behind the gopis. Of course, she was very merciful because due to her, the Manigriva and Nalakuvara were delivered. So she's very merciful. So this Leela, and then Satyavrata Muni, he remembers the most beloved of Krishna, Radharani. And it's unlimited pastime. So his mind takes him to other pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So thank you for listening to this explanation. If you have any question or comment, please do. Yes?
When you explain the word moksha,
Yes.
it just came to my mind. It was going. I'm fine. Thank you. Okay. It was just clicked to my mind. This thing on spiritual platform, everybody's goal might be different in spiritual platform. Say an example, gopis have their own goal, like serve Krishna, devotional service, transcendental services to Krishna. Radharani once said, we don't want moksha, no moksha.
Yeah.
But you use the word impersonal liberation. So some monks or the sannyasis or the rishis or many tapasvis are doing tapasyas for getting the liberation. And it's a various kinds in order to get Krishna or get one with the Krishna.
Yes.
So, like, as you are a guru there, and you are on this path. So, my question arises, like, sometimes, what literature or the Vedas and Puranas speaks about what goal should be, or what is the goal?
Very good question.
To both the questions should
question.
be and is.
The question is that many sages, yogis try to get oneness with God in personal liberation, but our goal in Krishna consciousness is different. The liberation is to be serving, loving Krishna. It's bhakti. Beyond moksha, there is bhakti. So which literature in the Vedas we recommend to achieve that goal, or that explain better that goal? The Srimad Bhagavatam. I would advise to read the Srimad Bhagavatam. That's Amala Purana. the pure Purana that explain the highest goal in life, Prema Pumarto Mahan. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the highest goal for human being is to achieve love of Godhead, beyond moksha. Moksha becomes insignificant because devotees are already liberated. What means to be liberated? To be free from material desire, that means liberation. But beyond that, you can't live without desire. That's a symptom to be alive. But then you develop desire to love and serve God, then that's beyond moksha.
So, yeah, thank you so much by explaining with the help of Bhagavatam statements and the words. So again, the question clicks to my mind, or something comes to my mind. Prem as a love or devotion to a God, in which kind? Like, we know, like, we do devotional services, whatever the materialistic things are there, we offer first Him. And what else? Like, what are the different ways of loving the gods or reaching to Him?
There are basically four type of relationship with Krishna: as a servant, as a friend, as a father, mother, or as a lover. Krishna can be the perfect husband or lover, perfect son, perfect friend, or perfect master. We are the servant. So in eternity, everybody has one of those relationships with Krishna in the spiritual world.
Oh, okay.
In the spiritual. So the goal is to become one of the eternal companions of Krishna, either as a friend or father, motherly like love, or as husband.
Yeah, look Krishna everywhere. It means that's the most highest love or a prem with the devotional.
Yes,
things.
I mean
Okay.
the idea is when the heart becomes pure and free from material contamination of lust, greed, anger, envy, all these things, and you practice bhakti, you chant the holy name of Krishna, then gradually Krishna starts to reveal to you what is your particular relationship with Krishna.
Oh, okay.
Then you will know what you will do in eternity.
Perfect. Okay. Got it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Yes.
Okay, we have time for one more question.
Yes, please.
Thank you for a nice class, Maharaj. I have one question. Would you please explain or talk about the difference between Goloka Vrindavan and this Vrindavan on the earth, and what is the difference, and talk a little bit about the difference? It would be nice.
The only difference that when Krishna comes to Vrindavan in the material world, he has to fight and kill demons. In the spiritual world, there are no demons. Only sometimes there is murmuring. Oh, some demon may come. No demon come. Demon becomes devotees there. So, and this is a replica of the spiritual world. Krishna bring it here, but when he leaves, doesn't take it with him. He leave it here for everyone to get the benefit of the holy place. Krishna bring 3 abodes with him: Mathura, Vrindavan, and Dwarka. And one can visit those holy places and get the spiritual benefit of visiting where Krishna lived and performed his activities, his pastimes. And remember all the things he said and did, when he was here. So there's no difference in the spiritual sense.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. So that means when we say we go to Goloka Vrindavan, but that even this Vrindavan has same potency, and we can, when we reside, is that also mean reaching like Goloka, or?
No. Our goal is not Goloka. or Gol is Gokula. Let me explain. It's no difference between Goloka and Gokula. But the idea, when devotees reach perfection, they don't go to Goloka. They first go to another universe where Krishna is performing his pastimes, and Vrindavan, when he comes to the material world, he brings Vrindavan. So devotees are born there from the womb of a gopi, and they become Krishna's friend or Krishna's father or mother-like or lover, according to their desire from past life. So they are trained there personally for the first time to see Krishna, love him, serve him, and personally. They are trained by the eternal companions of Krishna. Then you go to Goloka. Then you arrive at Goloka, everybody knows you. But if you arrive there, who's this newcomer? We don't know. You have to become first part of Krishna's family. Then you can enter Goloka. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Yes, Maharaj. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the nice question, Donavari Mataji, very intricate. And thank you, Bhakti Sundar Goswami, for a wonderful discussion. Let's give him a nice round of applause. So we're right in the middle of it. Krishna Fest rolls on, so it's time for our second